Okay, in today's video I'm going to show you how to change the battery on your BMW key fob that looks like this one. It's like the E46 E39, the 5 series between if yours has a blade or earlier 6 series. We're going to be replacing it with a rechargeable battery. Now this is a sealed key, so you want to be super careful when you cut this open because it needs to be cut open. You could always use a glove like this, which is like a knife-proof glove, just to be on the safe side. I've done it many a times without it, but I'd rather be safe so everyone can not hurt themselves. Another thing to keep in mind is this is a sealed battery that wasn't meant to be opened, so be very, very careful handling the chip and very careful cutting it. You can use different things. I've used X-Acto knife that has a saw blade like this, a little saw blade. It's really flimsy, so consider only using it a few times. I like using this type, that way you can control how deep the blade is so you don't get too deep in there. And also one of these, a nice strong one of these kind of box cutter type deals. So there's a seam all around the key and it's pretty straightforward. You just want to go back and forth cutting it like this. So we'll go ahead and get started on it. I like using one of these to get the cut started, to go around the whole key. You go around the whole key and just kind of saw it a little bit. Now this glove I have, it's a knife-proof glove, so if you accidentally slip and cut yourself, it won't do anything. I like using it when you're doing anything you have to cut and your hand's kind of in the way holding the item you're cutting. Another thing I like using this one is because you can have a little of the blade exposed, so you can go on it really hard without worrying about if you're using something like this and then you go too deep in, you touch the blade, is what you don't want to do. You don't want to touch the chip, I mean. Let's see if I have enough to pry it open. Okay. And this is the key right here, the key chip. So we're going to be soldering out the battery and replacing it. So what you want to do is very careful not to touch or damage these little coils. You do not want to move any of these coils. This is very important not to touch, because this is what gives the signal to the vehicle, so you do not want to. Make sure to be very careful with that. So first thing we're going to do is I'm going to use some solder wick and some flux so I can desolder the rechargeable battery. I like using this, makes it a lot easier to clean up and get it ready so you can put a new battery in there. So you want to get your soldering iron and your solder wick to desolder it. This sucks up all the solder. You can see now that all the solder is gone from here. And from the back, I just kind of pull up on the pull down on the battery. And this is the battery. It is now removed. So you just want to clean up where you just desoldered. I like to use a little rubbing alcohol and a swab. To clean up the flux. Because it is sticky, so you just want to clean up the area. Okay, now that the area is cleaned, you can match up the pinpoints. There's a smaller one and a bigger one. The smaller one's going to be on this side, the bigger one's going to be on that side. It went cleanly in. You can see they're in. So you want to do now is just solder them back. There you go. Solder back on, rechargeable battery. And I like to cut just the exposed amount. It's not a lot, but you don't have to do this. I just do it so it fits the casing better. Okay, now they're all ready. Make sure everything's nicely soldered on here. And you're good to go. Now I don't like I like to put this on a new case. I don't like to re-glue these because you find yourself that it might open up on you, and plus, so what I do is I make a whole new key for it. Let's make sure, let's test it. This is my tester here. Everything's working. So like I said, instead of using this key right here, the old key, I'm just gonna make a whole new key for it. So we're gonna put it back in the shell. And I'm gonna go ahead and show you guys how I cut this. Okay, so like I mentioned, instead of reusing this old key here, I'm going to be cutting the new one. Now, a lot of times when someone wants me to cut them a new key shell, I have them take me a picture of their key blade. I only need a picture of this blade here, because from there I can get the code. This is the code for the key here. So what I do is I look at the photo very carefully, and I'm able to decode it. So I put the code here on my key cutting machine, and then go ahead and it'll laser cut this key. And a lot of people call it laser cut. It's pretty much just like a CNC, like a little miniature CNC machine. As you can see, it's the probe detects it, and it's gonna accurately cut it to code. the key's nicely cut. I'm gonna brush away all the burr. There we go. Now you got yourself a nice new key, nice repaired key. Everything works fine on it. And like I said, a lot better than having to glue back your old key. This one, it snaps open, but it's really nice key. It just looks like just like the original. So if you're interested in getting one of these, wanted me to cut you a key, I can make a whole new key. I prefer to make a whole new key than to repair them. You can go ahead and contact me on Instagram. My Instagram name is roskinc BMW. My website is roskinc.com. Thanks a lot everyone for watching. I hope this video helped you. If it did, subscribe, like the video, comment below. I'll be happy to answer any questions. Thanks a lot for watching.